Hello, I'm Otto and welcome to episode 3 of my Foundry Blind Let's Play. So in the last episode we set up this manifold for our rods and our plates over here. And in this episode we are going to be expanding a little bit more, so we need to add in some more miners. And I think we need to do some stuff with the space station. So I did set up 2 research labs. And we're just going to extend that. Now, we don't have the supply to support this. This one assembler making this is not enough, but it is buffering a little bit, so we can just kind of utilize this as we need. I'm not going to be adding any onto our bus just yet. Well, what will eventually be our bus. We don't really know exactly what's going on with that, but we do know we need some more miners. And we don't know where our next round of supplies will come from, so I think what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to shift these forward and set up for some additional miners real quick. Okay, so I have set up more miners on both sides. I ended up setting... I went ahead and did 4. We only really need 3, but it seemed like 4 was decent coverage, so this one will probably be stagnant at some point, which is fine. As these start slowing down, then these will pick up more. At least I'm assuming that they will slow down because of the bot travel distance, the mining bot distance. So I did that on both sides. Each side has 4. I shifted everything else in towards the middle. We only have one assembling machine. Or sorry, one assembler making the machinery parts. And one assembler making science packs. I think I have some additional science packs on me now, so yep. Alright. There we go. So now we have full belts. Well, that one's going to be a full belt shortly. We basically have full belts coming into these. So we're not exactly sure. We don't really know what we're going to need on a bus or how big the bus is going to need to be. But I think a safe bet is if we plan for eventually having, let's say 4 lanes of this, and whatever, since these are like the building blocks, like the base items for most of the stuff we're going to need, or at least that's what it seems. I think it's a safe bet if we leave room for 4 of these and 4 of these, then that should be plenty to get us through the game. Now, as far as taking off of a bus, I don't really know yet. We have, okay, so we have a balancer. Oh, and we have the second loader. Awesome. So I'm just going to queue up a bunch of that. So if we look at the components that we can make machinery parts, which is, I mean, basically kind of like gears, I guess, or you know, I'm gonna be comparing everything to Factorio, Dyson Sphere Program, and Satisfactory. So this is effectively our gears from Dyson Sphere Program and Factorio. Wire comes from Technum rods. The electronic components needs Technum rods and wire, which is that's kind of a good thing. That means that to be able to make these, we only have to have rods going in. So we can pick up the wire from Technum rods and then the electronic components from Technum rods. And then output whatever we need. So thankfully we have a second loader because we're going to need a second loader for this because we will have, let's see, our ratio is we have 1 Technum rod in 1.5 seconds. Sorry, 1 Technum rod creates 2 wire every 1.5 seconds. And the electronic components needs 2 wires every 3 seconds. So that's kind of our ratio, 1 wire to 2 electronic components. And we can probably just make a couple of those and then have an output line of electronic components. We're not going to make wired coil on the bus because it is a kind of like a differing ratio. So it's better to have the Technum rods travel wherever we need and then create the wire on the spot, since wire takes up 2 slots, you know, for every one Technum rod. And then the machinery parts, we're also not sure how much of that we'll need. You know, in a lot of games, most of this is your gears are generally for your personal machines. They're not often used for components for other things. It's very possible this could be, because I think that this is, you know, we're going to be assembling stuff and sending it up to the broken space station up there. Which reminds me, that's what we need to do next. So we're going to research whatever this transport bot assembly. I would love to just be able to double click this. That would be fantastic, but whatever. And I think we're going to go ahead and get these containers too. Oh, and science pack is up next. New science pack. So what are we going to need for this? We're going to need conveyors, rank 1, and building blocks. All right, let's queue that up. So for the building blocks, we needed just plates and rods. More plates than rods. And then for, what was the other one? Conveyors. Okay, so we need plates and machinery parts. All right, so plates and rods for the building block, and plates and machinery parts. And machinery parts just needed plates. Okay, so we're kind of getting an idea on how we're going to set this up. So for this, we will have just plates and rods coming in. We don't need any of the electronic components, so we don't, whoops. So if we just had plates coming in for the conveyor, the machinery parts needs plates, so that's plates in and plates in. And this one needs plates and Technum rods. We might be able to do that all on the same line, like just have a, like I said, a line of Technum rods coming in, a line of plates coming in. I can definitely see how the plates are going to be taking up more space. For this one, we needed parts and Technum rods. So we're probably going to do the two different sciences on two separate lines. That way we can kind of hopefully set it up in a way that we can expand it later. And I'm guessing at some point there will become a point where we don't need certain materials. So maybe, for instance, maybe we don't need electronic components anymore at some point. So then we can maybe stop sending that down the line. Either way, I think for now we're going to plan on having machinery parts on a bus and electronic components. Again, we don't really know what all we need yet. This is blind, and we might as well just put as much on there as we can. So for actually taking off the bus, let's just set this up. I kind of have an idea. So we're going to say 4 lines for the rods, or we're going to make room for it. So anytime I want to take something off, did I make some of those? I did. Sweet. What is this? Priority. Awesome. That is a good thing. No filter needed, but a priority is nice. So I think, let's say we have a bus like this. I think as long as we leave one space, because we can then always have, let's say this go up. Oh geez. And then this go over. So we only need one space to be able to get things over to like a secondary area. All right, let's look at our tasks. So buy a small cargo ship and task it with planetary shipping. I think I do that at this terminal. Spaceships. Let me guess, it's going to cost 10,000. What are we doing here? How do I buy a small cargo ship and task it with? Oh, okay. So what did it say? Ugh, really? You don't have it up here to continue on? So we're gonna buy a small cargo ship. Okay, well it's only 3,000. That gives us a little bit of room. That was fast. And we need to assign a task of planetary shipping. When assigned to planetary shipping, a cargo ship will service shipping pads on the planet as soon as the configured conditions are met. Okay, I have no idea what we need to be shipping, so place a shipping pad. I do not have one of those. Ah, shipping pad. We need a lot of stuff that we do not have on us. Oh, but we have the ability to make one. Okay, so I'll be back when that is crafted. Alright, that did not take long at all. Where is this shipping pad? Blast resistant. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, it's huge. Alright, I have no idea if this was a good place to place this or not. I guess it depends on... Okay, we are going to have to put some stuff into it, so we might have to move this later. Whatever, it is what it is. Configure shipping pad. There's currently no cargo ship inbound, right? Transport wares from the factory to the space station. So we need to make transport bots. I don't know. Okay, so it has the capacity for 25. So I guess, yeah, 25. Pick up the minimum amount of items any cargo ship should move. Can be changed later. If the number is higher than the capacity of a cargo ship, it will instead use ship's maximum capacity. All right.
We did it. That was quite a lot, right? But it'll be worth it. Just one more step to make some cash. We can convert an old hangar to a sales platform from which passing traders and customers will be able to buy our products. Once built, we need to enable sales through the station command menu, and then we wait. You'll be notified about sales every hour.
Sure. Okay, so we need to construct a sales platform on the space station. What do you mean not enough power? Alright, I guess we need to make some solar panels, which is going to take some time. Can we do both of these? Okay, well, and we are running out of construction material. How do we get more construction material? Oh, we can only hold 10,000 from our light. All right. Interesting. Construct the sales... Okay, so we need to be able to produce transport bots. Let me guess. We're going to need stuff that we do not have prepared yet. This is just a temporary placement. Let's see. Yes, okay, so we need to get to the point where we can make machinery parts and electronic components, and then we will have another section for the transport bot assembly. These take 10 seconds to make. So 10 seconds. I'm assuming that this can just hold maybe an indefinite amount. We don't know about the travel time for the the ship either, so. Okay, so we need to start setting up for, yeah, our components. And like I said, we're gonna make a bus that has like four wide for this and 4 wide for this. And since we don't really know what we need for the other ones, I mean, we could maybe try to leave some space. It's going to be really difficult to try to know for sure or figure that out for sure. So we'll probably just leave maybe just a little bit of space for each just in case. And then, yeah, just continue on and probably just start with one lane. Okay, so we're going to give ourselves lots of space so that we can expand these later. Space station upgrade complete. So that's the repairing the solar panels, and now it is going to be making the space sales platform, right? Okay, so while we're waiting on that, we definitely need to start setting up some assemblers for some of these components. Let's figure out how this is going to be set up first. So this is going to be for our rods and our plates, so then our plates can just come over like this. And then we can, let's say, leave two... Oh, I'm out of belts. Awesome. Let's say 2 spaces for machinery parts and 2 spaces for electric components. I have no idea if this is overkill, if this is, you know, a lot or a little or what. And actually that lines up pretty good with stuff over here, so we can kind of start to make stuff out this way if we really want to. I'm thinking that I'm going to take my Factorio approach, and I'm going to try to build most of the components on one side and then leave the other side for, I mean, whatever else I want to do. Maybe we can have some mall items over in this direction and some science over in this direction. I think the majority of the stuff that I want to build is going to be over here on the right side, though. That's where we're going to have the most room, the most expandability, and yeah, we'll just continue on from there. So I'm not going to necessarily limit any amount of space. Like, the only space that I need to be limited by is the conveyor, the sloped conveyor. All right, so let's start to see how this is going to work out. I don't know how many more platforms I have or how many we will need, but let's say, ooh, yep, running out. And I need to move some of this stuff. I need to get some of this on my bars. Don't need burners. I probably don't need the drones. All right, so I'm going to have eventually three of the inserters. I would like to have my belts kind of near the front though. So let's just say, oh geez, we're going to run out of room really fast. I don't know why they don't give you, I mean, I know they like, you have extra bars, but I don't necessarily want to tab through them. We can probably get away with not having the slopes because we can change the elevation on the fly while we're holding this. Again, I don't know why they didn't just have these both be the same item. Okay, so the way this is going to work is anytime we need to branch off, this will continue through and this will go down to whatever it is that we need. Space station upgrade complete. Okay, so we need to get to the point where, like, we're not going to get to the point where we're making the transport bots in this episode. We will have to do that in the next episode. So we are going to make some electronic components here. So we need an assembly machine. making wire. And this will need an output. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to make sure to get some more building blocks so that we can make sure to have a nice sizable platform. So this is gonna output for the other assemblers that are gonna be making our actual products. So we're gonna have 2 of these. Yeah, this is gonna get old really fast. How much more dirt do I have? Okay, so we're gonna have this output. This is gonna be the input. And this should just automatically toggle over. No? No. And then we have an input here and an input there. So this is going to be for our electric components. And then our first use of the long hand. Yay, we have components. Okay, so I'm going to get us some more building blocks and maybe expand that a little bit, and then we will come back and set up for the machinery parts. Okay, so we have completed the sales platform and I've added on an additional 2 electronic components. So if we extend this out, yes, I need to set up some automation for our belts, definitely. So we know that we're going to have to come out to at least here. So the way that we're going to get this is obviously we are going to use the elevated sloped conveyor. And this can just go down until whatever line that we need. How do I change? Where's the elevation? Plane down Q. Nope. Other direction, please. There we go. And that is not even where I needed it. Yay, we have the electronic components on the bus. Okay, so now we're going to set up for the machinery parts, which are going to be on this section here. And we don't necessarily need to leave any extra room. Maybe we can leave some walking space. I'll say like 2 blocks apart. So for the machinery parts, we need just xenoferrite plates. So this one is just Techno rods, which is nice, and this one is just xenoferrite plates. So we're gonna have plates coming in here. So if we look at this, this does not exactly line up. So this takes up 2 slots. So this is a 2x2. So we know we need at least back here. Oh, this is potentially going to be a problem. Oh, it does go under this. Okay, so that's nice. So we're going to need to leave 1 slot for the turn, 2 slots for the slope, and then this can go in. I'm guessing. Please work. Yay, success. Okay. So now we have the plates over here, and we just need some assembling machines. Oh my goodness. 3D games, what can I say? Okay, so this is going to be machinery parts. Can I copy this? Okay. I'll figure that out later. Alright, and now we just need an output. And we're going to need some more of these. Awesome. And there we go. We now have a little bit of a nice start to a bus. Okay, so that is going to be it for me for this episode. In the next episode, we are going to be making some transport bots and sending them back over to here. We might end up moving this. I think that might be a good idea. But on the bright side, it doesn't look like it needs power, which is awesome. Yeah, it doesn't need power, so it can just be placed wherever. Also, a lot of this is kind of wasted space. We don't necessarily need this. I'm gonna leave it for now, but in the case, like if in the future it's too much, we can always remove some of this. Like, we don't need any of it for the conveyors. It just makes placing it easier, so I don't know. We will see. Alright, so that is going to be it for me for this episode. In the next episode, I'm hoping that maybe we can get to the point where So we're going to be making some transportation bots, sending those up to, I guess, start making some Pharmalite. And I would like to maybe see if we can get the science automated and maybe even the science 2 automated. That's a lot for an episode, but okay, so I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.